Mic check 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Let me quickly adjust the camera. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, based on wherever you are in the world. I was just checking why am I not able to see the other headset. Anyway, so yeah, welcome to the show. It's episode 21, and yeah, I think it'll take me a while for it to get the angle right. All right, so yesterday we talked about Sprint Tuesday, and we also did a quick recap of Sprint Monday. And I am yet to update the thumbnails for Friday's episode and yesterday's episode. I'll do it today. And I'll also put links for those episodes. In yesterday's episode, I'll put Friday's episode link because that's when we talk about Sprint Monday, all right, Design Sprint Monday. And for those who are completely new to this live stream, couple of expectations to set right away. Right, one, this live stream is for me to just talk about any design topic or even product topic for that matter, right, and just talk about them in depth. And this will be about 30-35 minutes. I initially started this with roughly 50 minutes to 1 hour episodes, and then I shortened it down to keep it more crisp and you know probably to keep it more engaging, I guess. Or maybe I can admit that it was difficult to uh, extend every day for 50 minutes or 1 hour. All right. So yeah, that's all about this live stream. And yeah, this week or the last few days, we've been talking about a design sprint. And if you don't know what is a design sprint, it is designed to solve big problems, right? Big picture items for any product company, right? And it is recommended to be conducted over a period of 5 days and 5 full days. And I have talked about this in the last couple of episodes. At least the minimum you should do is 4 to 5 hours a day, and for at least 3 days. Right, the last 2 days of the activities can be even done in a silo, and you can maybe meet 1 hour or so in the last 2 days and discuss about the outputs of uh, day four and outcomes of day five. And we will talk about, okay, why is it an output for day four and why is it an outcome for day five? Right. So yeah, that's about it. And we covered the first 2 days. Today we're going to talk about design sprint Wednesday. All right. So let me jump straight in, and then I'll switch to my screen share. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I was checking if I can hear the audio well. Now the audio is muted. Um, all right, that was funny. Okay, so this is Sprint Tuesday, Sprint Wednesday. So what we did, I'll give a quick recap of what we did on Tuesday. On Tuesday, which is day two of the design sprint, we basically, as a team, right, to all the participants of the design sprint, came up with solutions for the problems that or for the problem or the goal that we are working on, right, or working towards if it's a goal. Right. So now on Wednesday, what we do, and if you are wondering, okay, why do I have to work through a whole day to come up with solutions? There are multiple activities that gets you to the solution, and there are prescriptions on how the solution should be. Right. For example, the solution must be absolutely self-explanatory, and that is a reason for that, because when you ultimately test the solutions with your customers, and ultimately when you release the solution to your customers, you cannot be sitting next to them and explain them how your product works or how to do something in your product, etc. Right? So it has to be absolutely self-explanatory. And we'll see more reasons on day three why, again, it has to be self-explanatory, right? So let's jump right in to day three of the design sprint. I think because design sprint is one of my favorite subjects and something that I've enjoyed doing, I'm so excited about this, I guess. But yeah, for those again who are watching this for the first time, I tend to digress and blabber a little bit here and there, so please bear with me. Now, the activities. Right, so art museum, as you can see here, is the first activity where you put up all of your solutions from everyone in the design sprint on a wall, if it is happening in a meeting room, right, or on a big pin board, whiteboard, whatever, that you can use to showcase them, right? And if you are doing it virtually, the chances are that it is already there in one of your whiteboarding tools like Mural or FigJam, or I think there is something else also that I came across recently. I think it's called Miro, right? And I also said if you don't want to spend much time educating or training your participants on these whiteboarding tools, you can pick up something that they are already very familiar with. For example, Google Slides or Microsoft PowerPoint, which is very close to a whiteboarding tool. And those tools these days let you work together on the same slide or even the same file. Multiple participants basically can work together, right, on the same slide or in the same file. So yeah, if it is happening virtually, the chances are that it is already there. But if you are doing some of it offline, for example, you want to do those sketches that you do on solution sketches on Tuesday, then you probably take a picture of it with your mobile phone and just add it to your virtual whiteboard. Right, so that's art museum, and you spend about, I think there must be a time. I remember it being 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, yeah. So there is no explicit time mentioned in this post. And again, I highly recommend getting this book, either the audiobook version or the hardcover, and it's also available as a Kindle ebook, right? And they go into much more detail about how to conduct these exercises, and it's definitely very helpful. And it's also not a very long read, right? So now take 15 to 20 minutes. Again, if you are in a meeting room, just walk uh, walk through the not walk through, maybe go from first to last, I guess, and observe the solutions, right? Take a look at the solutions, and then everyone gets three votes, and you can either put all three of them to the same solution, or you can put one each, or maybe two on one and one in another, whatever. Right? The idea is it's not necessary that you have to cast just one vote per solution. Now, all of you do that, right? And slowly, and the idea here is to identify which solutions, as a group, you guys think, or you folks think uh, is the best, right, as a group. And there would be ties more often than not, and we'll come to that in a minute, right? And once you are done voting, what you do is, as a group, discuss, and still all of these sketches are anonymous, which is very important because if and do not try to figure out also, right? Don't be the smarty pants and then try and figure out, okay, I found out who sketches that. That's not the objective, and that actually puts a huge bias in your vote and possibly in others' vote also, which we don't want. The objective is to look at the solutions unbiased and try to be as objective as possible when you are casting your vote. All right. So now, once you are done with the first round of votes, and I say first round of votes because there are a couple of more rounds of votes. What you do is, as a group, discuss the pros and cons of each of those ideas for about 3 minutes, and you still don't reveal who is the creator of that solution. Right now, after the 3 minutes, you ask this the creator to step up and ask them, did we miss anything, right? Because even when you try to make something as self-explanatory as possible, maybe some of that is not coming through with the solution. Right, and you give them maybe 2 or 3 minutes to explain if there is anything that you guys have missed out, or he has sometimes they also miss out, people also miss out that maybe this is out of scope, right? Maybe this is something that I am looking for someone else to solve, right? Maybe I'm trying to, fit in a couple of solutions together and complete it, right? And all of those things that are not obvious, that are not discussed during those 3 minute critics, the creator gets the chance to explain for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Right. Now, then the straw poll, and I forgot what this means. Let me quickly read this. Okay, so yeah, this is the second round. Now, after your critique, maybe your votes have changed, or maybe it hasn't. The idea that you have chosen looks like probably the most complete idea, right, and probably the best solution, right, even if it is not fully complete. Maybe it's about 70-80% there, but it looks like the most promising solution, right? And then you, each participant gets one vote, and then you cast your vote, right? And then again, you do this at the same time, and I'm not sure how this works in a physical design sprint. I have to go back and see. But in virtual environments, it is much easier, right? You just do a countdown of 3, 2, 1. Ask everyone to be prepared with their solution that they are going to vote for, and then do a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and everyone, bam, puts their one single big dot on their favorite idea, favorite solution. Now, the last item is, this is a critical point, right, in the design sprint, when the designer chooses what are the 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ideas max that we are going to prototype tomorrow, which is the sprint Thursday. Now, if this is the first time you are listening to the podcast and this is the first time you are hearing about design sprints, decider is a very, very critical role. And I talk about it in a little more detail in my Friday video. And it has to be someone who executes the vision, executes the solution ultimately, right? It could be, or at least can influence the team to execute the solution, right? It could be the VP of products, or if it is a very technical solution, it could be the VP of engineering, or it could be the product manager who's running the product, who takes calls on what needs to be done, who takes calls on the roadmap, and what are the things that we want to pick up in the next sprint or the sprint after that, and so on, right? So the decider must be someone who can take those calls, who can execute the solution. And it is very, very important because if the decider is not that person, anything that you come up with during the design sprint may or may not get executed, and more often than not, it doesn't get executed because it is not in alignment with the vision of the product owner, right? And the product owner comprises of everyone from VP, product managers, and so on, right? So that's why it's very important to choose your decider very, very wisely, and also choose a person who's very decisive. But yeah, many times they are. I want to, even though I want to say most of the times, but many times at least, the person who's owning a product is very decisive. Right. So choose your deciders wisely. Now, after that super vote, you know what you are going to work on. And of course, as I said earlier, there might be solutions which are not 100% complete. So you try to figure out what are uh, the solutions that you want to mix and match. What are the gaps? I'm sorry. What are the gaps that you want to fill, right? And so on. And these things, I think they are important in some cases. Some cases they are not important. Um, so this is choosing fake brand names if your brand is very, very popular. For example, Starbucks, right? That can influence your users when you are testing the solutions, or that can bias the users, right? When you are testing the solutions, because they might have some opinion formed already with Starbucks, right? Or some image formed in their head of Starbucks. So you might want to think about fake names that you want to use during testing your solution, so that that bias is out of the way, right? And let's see what this is, Rumble or all-in-one. Hit it. Okay, so yeah, this is see if all the solutions fit into one single prototype, or it needs to be two or three prototypes, and so on. And then it becomes a little more difficult to find more number of participants, right? Because if you are testing just one prototype, maybe testing it with four people is enough. But if it is two or three prototypes, then maybe you need to find about 8 or 10 users, right? That's what they are talking about here, and this is, I think, is self-explanatory. Note and note: use this technique whenever you need to quickly gather ideas from the group and narrow down to a decision. Okay, this is all about completing the ideas, and this is about storyboarding, right? And then I'll skip this for a moment because we talked about this in detail, and I'll share this link so you guys can go over that also. Now, this make a storyboard. Now, storyboards, I personally feel is optional depending on how detailed your current map is and how detailed your solution is, right? And if your solution is as detailed or very, very close to your current journey map, right, then maybe it's a good idea to skip this step. But if you feel that it's not as detailed as your current journey map for which we are trying to find a solution, then maybe doing a storyboard is a better idea. And it mostly consists of how do your users find your product or enter the first step of the solution, right? And if it is an e-commerce website, maybe web search is a good place to start, right? And maybe put what you would or what your product will appear as in the search result, or in ads in Google Ads, and then from that link they go to your e-commerce shop, right? And depending, like I said, depending on your product, this can be any different thing, right? So that's the choosing scene, and then uh, you know you look at, okay, does you constantly evaluate and go back and see if it covers all the items that are necessary uh, to test uh, the solution with the users, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Right? Like I said, this is an optional step if you have a very detailed solution, a very detailed list of steps in your solution itself, because we wanted that itself to be self-explanatory, right? So yeah, then you try to fill any gaps again here in the flow, and then share it with your designers, which they will take up and start prototyping. Right, so we'll talk about prototyping and testing together tomorrow, because they both are quite short topics, but something that will give you probably the most value through in this entire design sprint exercise. Right, so let me go back to my streaming full camera. Right, so yeah, that's about it for today, and I hope this was useful. And I know today's episode was much shorter than 30 minutes. But yeah, I'll try to keep up with the 30-minute stream as much as possible. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with Design Sprint Day 4 and 5. It's Design Sprint Thursday and Friday. See you guys.